Welcome back, everyone. Today we're looking at real moments caught on camera that remind us why railroad safety is so important. These clips show how quickly situations can change and why warning signals should never be ignored. Let's begin.
What a mess.
At Wola Filipovska, a train slammed into a truck stuck on the tracks, a powerful reminder of how a few careless seconds can lead to disaster. When a truck gets trapped on the rails, there's no way a fast-moving train can stop in time, just like this scene in Alabama. A heart-stopping moment, a couple rushed through a crossing, just as the gates were lowering, barely avoiding a high-speed train. A clear message: never underestimate the danger of railway crossings.
Oh my God!
A tense moment in Hollywood, Florida, as a passenger train couldn't stop in time and slammed into a tow truck stuck on the tracks.
Wow! Wow! Oh my God! Wow! Wow! Look at this! Oh, look at this! I've never seen such thing. Wow!
A scene straight out of an action movie, a freight train plowed into a semi hauling a tank. Thankfully, the driver escaped just in time. A runaway truck burst through the crossing gate just moments before a train arrived in South Boston, Virginia, a powerful reminder of railway safety. The Amtrak tracks turned into a disaster zone as a massive collision with a semi obliterated everything in seconds. A gray Mercedes slammed into a moving train, but miraculously no serious injuries were reported.
Господи, царица небесная, ты чё, Ой, вы идиот, а? Ой, господи, вот, ну это надо же быть, а? И этого попасть. Ну, надолго теперь. Регистратор включен, да?
Да, посмотрим.
Ой.
Oh my goodness, comment 1 if your heart jumped just like mine. A tense scene as a train struck an abandoned car, highlighting the importance of keeping tracks clear and respecting warnings. A runaway train derailed a dramatic sight, underscoring how essential maintenance and safety precautions are.
Oh my gosh.
A car escaped the tracks just in time, showing once again that careful observation can save lives at railway crossings.
Het werk van bewindspersoon. Er is eerder heel veel.
A train slammed head-on into a bus stuck on the tracks, a violent collision that left behind severe damage and massive losses.
What a mess, Priscilla.
A serious incident unfolded in southern Tennessee when a train derailed after striking a truck carrying enormous concrete beams. A freight train left the rails and tore through multiple oil tanks, a chaotic, destructive scene showing just how catastrophic a derailment can be. A heart-stopping moment in Poland. 4 people narrowly escaped death after trying to beat the lowering gates just seconds before a fast-moving train barreled through. A bright red streetcar charged forward, but the rear wheels decided to quit the team after hitting an obstacle. A derailed train climbed up an escalator, creating absolute chaos, but thankfully a tragedy was avoided. In Versailles, Ohio, a violent collision between a train and a truck left the vehicle crushed beyond recognition, yet the driver miraculously survived.
Oh no.
A nerve-wracking moment as a stranded car was pulled off the tracks just seconds before a high-speed train tore past like a shadow of death. A deadly game of chance, a car sped across the rails right in front of an oncoming train, a moment that made every viewer hold their breath. A truck smashed through the barrier and was hit seconds later by a train. The driver survived only because he jumped out at the very last moment. A terrifying moment in Mesa as a light rail train slammed into a garbage truck, a serious wake-up call about staying alert at crossings. The incident in Argentina is a stark warning. One glance at your phone while walking near tracks can cost you everything. A train in Canyon, Texas struck a stuck semi head-on. The explosive crash echoed across the entire area. In Luling, Texas, a truck tried to beat the train, and the resulting collision made everyone watching shudder. In Aledo, Texas, even a small collision was enough to derail the train instantly. Police sprinted in and dragged a trapped driver out of his car, a heroic rescue in the nick of time. The entire scene left everyone shaken. Just a few seconds separated life from tragedy, but this time luck was on their side. A horrifying collision in Mount Victory, Ohio. A freight train plowed straight into a semi-truck crossing the tracks, a violent impact that stunned everyone who saw it. A terrifying collision unfolded in Utah when a train slammed into a FedEx truck crossing the tracks. The driver escaped by sheer luck and inches to spare. A violent derailment in Springfield, Ohio sent shockwaves through the neighborhood as rail cars buckled and crashed. The camera shook as an Amtrak train roared into a collision. The screech of metal echoed like thunder. A moment nobody ever wants to witness in real life. The camera captured the instant fate struck. A freight train slammed into a semi and sent it flying in a single brutal moment. The incident in Georgia is a stark reminder that being 1 second late at a railroad crossing can cost a life. Thankfully, the driver escaped in time. The camera captured a heart-stopping moment. A semi stuck on the tracks, a train racing toward it, a near miss just seconds from disaster. A bold buffalo stood directly on the tracks, then bolted at the last possible moment as the train barreled in a heart-pounding sight for anyone watching. A station mishap reminded everyone that electrical safety must always come first, especially in crowded public areas. A crowd froze in shock when an elderly man collapsed on the tracks until a police officer leapt in and lifted him to safety in a heroic heartbeat. The lens caught the exact moment fate struck a train, barreling in a motionless truck, and a driver sprinting free just before impact. Time felt like it froze. A truck stuck on the tracks, a train approaching fast, and everyone hoping for a safe outcome. A life-or-death moment in Cartersville as a semi was crushed by a train, yet the driver managed to escape in the nick of time. Chaos erupted in Canton, Massachusetts, and while no one was hurt, it's a scare no one will soon forget. A dramatic rescue caught on camera 1 second slower, and tragedy would have struck, but the guard pulled the young woman to safety just in time. In an instant of chaos, a Norfolk Southern train derailed dozens of rail cars flying off the tracks and creating a scene of destruction unlike anything seen before. A railway worker sprinted forward and dragged a man off the tracks only seconds before the train swept through. A rescue made in the very last moment. After this experience, that driver will never park in the wrong place again. A miracle escape he'll remember for the rest of his life. A motorcyclist ran a red light right before a train blasted through. The hair-raising footage made everyone watching shudder. In another near-fatal moment, a crossing guard sprinted in and dragged a drunk man off the tracks only seconds before a speeding train roared through like a storm. A dramatic collision unfolded when a train plowed into a truck loaded with pears fruit, burst into the air like a wild, chaotic shower. A heart-stopping moment and with no injuries. Sometimes it takes standing inches from danger to remind us how fragile life really is. One wrong choice, one careless second, and the car was destroyed by an oncoming train. Thankfully, the driver survived to hear the lesson: never drive after drinking. A vehicle flipped directly onto the tracks in an extremely dangerous situation. Luckily, the streetcar operator reacted fast and slowed down in time. A reminder to stay alert and control your speed at rail crossings. A reckless jump nearly turned deadly. A man leapt off a moving train, slipped, and was saved only because bystanders reacted instantly. Never jump off a train before it stops completely. Heavy snowfall made the tracks slick enough to push the train off course. Thankfully, it was a light impact with no injuries, a small warning during harsh winter months. After a bus and streetcar collided, both plowed into a parking structure and collapsed the roof. A worker dashed out and by sheer luck avoided being struck. A cyclist ignored the barrier and nearly collided with the oncoming train. The train clipped the wheel, lightly proof that obeying signals can save your life. Two men sprinted through a closing railway gate just as the train arrived. One was nearly clipped, losing only a shoe. A lucky ending to a very dangerous choice. A terrifying scene in Sleepy Eye, Minnesota. A train slammed into a semi crossing the tracks. The driver miraculously survived. Oh my goodness. Hearts jumped out of chests. That moment truly left everyone breathless. A near-fatal moment in Ohio. A man climbed out of his truck mere seconds before a train tore through it. A miraculous escape. The crash in Pendleton left onlookers frozen. The semi couldn't clear the tracks, but the driver's quick reaction beat the train by seconds.
Another track?
The train arrived with a brutal precision. The stuck semi had no chance, and the impact left viewers holding their breath.
Oh
A half escape on the tracks, the truck cab cleared in time, but the trailer didn't make it before the train arrived.
Bring it too.
A horrifying moment unfolded as a train smashed into a truck, crossing the tracks. The deafening impact echoed like a warning against ignoring safety signals. A fertilizer rail car suddenly derailed and slammed straight into another locomotive. The deafening crash left everyone watching in shock. Just one careless moment on the tracks can stop your heart, a powerful reminder that a railroad crossing is never a place for distraction. At a crowded intersection, a truck was trapped in traffic, the driver waving desperately for space. But before he could finish the gesture, boom, a collision erupted in an instant. A life or death moment, a semi was stuck in the junction as a fast-moving train approached. The violent impact that followed was terrifying, but thankfully no one was inside the cab. One split second of carelessness and everything nearly spiraled out of control. Luckily, fate stepped in at the final moment. A bus wandered onto the tracks off script, turning the whole scene into an action movie, and somehow still ended with a lucky escape. A truck picked the wrong parking spot on the tracks, and as the train came barreling in, every heart in sight nearly jumped out of its chest. Thankfully, it became a lesson, not a tragedy. A horrifying sight, a gravel truck attempted to cross as the train approached. The brutal collision crushed the truck and derailed the locomotive. That truck driver must have thought he was filming Fast and Furious Rail Edition. Too bad the train didn't share the enthusiasm and hit back hard. One second of distraction at a railroad crossing can cost a life. Always stay alert before crossing the tracks. A small truck got stuck between two crossing arms. After checking the situation, the drivers had no choice but to break the gate and escape before the train arrived. In Illinois, a train plowed forward with a snowplow attached, sending white powder flying, a winter scene straight out of a movie. A terrifying situation, a taxi driver rushed across after one freight train passed, unaware a second train was speeding in from the opposite direction. Ignoring signals ended badly for this truck driver. The crash showed just how dangerous it is to challenge a train. An SUV got stuck on the tracks, but the driver managed a last-second escape in his Jeep, a true brush with disaster. A lucky moment caught on camera. A man avoided a collision at a crossing with no barrier. A reminder of why vigilance is everything. A chemical freight train derailed, forcing nearby residents and schools into an urgent evacuation as crews scrambled to secure the scene. In Dalcross, Scotland, a man dashed across the tracks, and only seconds later a train blasted through an almost unbelievable close call. A cyclist made a reckless crossing and came within inches of disaster, spared only by sheer luck. Amid heavy snow in London, a train's wheels sparked against the icy rails, shooting out bright flashes like winter fireworks. A man recklessly stepped through a lowered gate and walked right in front of a speeding train, a 1-second difference between survival and disaster. Only 1 second separated safety from disaster. A truck crossed the tracks at the exact moment a train rushed in, leaving viewers breathless. A reckless attempt nearly cost a life. A motorcyclist smashed into the opposite barrier and stopped just inches before the oncoming train, a powerful warning about risky crossings. A dangerous act in Belgium almost became a tragedy. A driver broke the crossing gate and shot across the tracks seconds before a freight train thundered in. A horrifying moment as a speeding train crushed a car stuck on the tracks. The driver could only watch in helpless disbelief. A heroic rescue just seconds before impact. A motorcyclist abandoned his bike and sprinted to pull an elderly woman off the tracks, bravery at its purest. That phone notification wasn't worth the risk. A fall onto the tracks is a powerful reminder to keep your eyes up and stay aware at the station. A streetcar camera captured a young woman stepping onto the tracks without looking. The train stopped just inches away, a frightening reminder about rail safety. A red light runner in the UK came within seconds of tragedy, a harsh reminder that one reckless moment is never worth the risk. A moment of fate, a semi stuck on the tracks, a train unable to stop, and a devastating impact that left the entire scene in ruins. A terrifying collision as a large truck darted across the tracks, while a train was reversing. The impact was so strong it knocked a rail car off the line. Thanks for watching. Every moment of this video reinforces a simple truth. Taking a few extra seconds to pay attention to railroad signs and warning signals can prevent a serious accident. Have a safe and peaceful day.